Well, good evening, everyone. This is Keith with Positively Osceola, another episode of our coffee club. And like I say every night, this is not a prop, folks. This is fully coffee. I am ready to be caffeinated, usually at any time. But I have to tell you, we have some amazing guests that join us, and we're always super blessed and super grateful to be able to say that. But tonight, we have an extra special man joining us. A community leader, certainly a servant leader in the community, and that is Hannan Khan. How are you, sir?
Thank you, sir. I'm doing great. Good evening. How are you, sir?
I tell you, I hope that the discussion we have now is as much fun as it was before we went live. I had a good time talking to you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
So how was your day today?
Very good. Normal, some inspection here and there, some paperwork.
90, yes, some rain.
Oh God. Yeah.
Right. Well, we're super glad you came tonight. I know that you're very busy. You're busy in many different ways, for sure. You're certainly busy as you are running for City of Kissimmee Commission seat 1. So that's going to keep you busy. But so we've kicked this off. So why don't I kind of kick off our official start, and I'll do that right now. I like that thing.
Nice, yes. Good start.
Make it official with a coffee thing. So I guess what we talked about is, first thing, why don't we I'll just turn it over to you. Why don't you kind of tell us about yourself, from whence you've come, and, you're part of the community here for sure. Why don't you explain that to people? Let us know, who you are, who your family might be. Please.
Good evening. I'm Hannan Khan. My family and I lived here for more than 20 years. And I graduated from Barry University back in 1990. After that, I went to work for the state. I worked for the Department of HRS, which became DCF.
Right.
And that department helps families in need. You understand, I guess. And then I briefly worked for Department of Juvenile Justice. And then also I worked for the Division of Real Estate as an investigator. Later on, I was hired as a health inspector for the DBPR. And I did that until 2018. And then I switched to become a fire inspector of the city of St. Cloud.
Right.
So I want to point out that when you work for the state or the city, you understand how they function.
Right.
So especially the city, and you have the different departments, and the employees are working. So I bring those experience to the administration of the city of Kissimmee.
Sure.
And I lived here, as I said, we lived here. We had issues here, like a lift station behind my house, or any other thing. And we have it's not a formal homeowners association, but we get together, we get to know each other, we solve issues. And a few months back, they made me president of the homeowners association. I'm really proud to point out that. So my neighbors have been asking for me to run for city commission. And I was hesitant because when you work for the state, you have a conflict of interest. So when I left the state, I didn't have any more conflict. So I thought it would be a good time. I could use my experience to make things better. And I'm going to try, and I'm trying. Thank you.
Well, so, and so you've lived in the area, I think if I'm correct, you lived here around 20 years, is that correct?
Yes, sir. We moved from Broward back in 99. So it would be a little more than 20 years.
Yeah. So 2 or 3 degrees cooler up here in Central Florida. Maybe 2 degrees.
I'm sorry, 40. I missed that.
It's probably 2 or 3 degrees cooler here in
Oh
Central.
yeah, definitely. It was, but I don't know. These days is 91 all the time.
No matter where you are in Florida. So something that pricked my my interest is when you said that your neighbors have encouraged you to run. So that's got to be quite the compliment for people that live near you, that know you, that say, "Look, I think you can do this." Did you feel that was a compliment locally?
Oh, definitely, because you need support of your neighbors. If you don't have that, how can you know convince others to vote for you or have confidence in you? And we have successful block parties. We have other issues in those. We really work great together.
Right.
And when neighbors come together, then the life becomes really livable and it's enjoyable.
Agree. Yeah, I think more than ever. I mean, we could probably talk for 3 hours. I have a feeling, because I'm very interested in what you want to say tonight. So I guess I'll start off with the things that you really. I've looked at your website. So the things that really stand out for you, to step up and say, okay, I'm gonna, because it's a sacrifice to serve. Serving the community is a sacrifice, and it's a time expenditure, absolutely. So tell me what the major reason is that you wanted to, step up and say, okay, I want to serve the community. I want to give back to the community.
Thank you. Because people have asked me, and in fact, people who are superior to me, they say you're insane. Our friends, when you're running for, as an inspector, I'm always outside. So
Right.
here and there, I pick up newspaper. So a couple of years ago, St. Cloud News had a news that there's an article, the city of St. Cloud in the ranking of public safety number 9, and Kissimmee was 63rd.
I remember.
So that hit me in the gut. I said I could do something,
Right.
and I thought about it and talked to my wife, and she's like, "What? You run for political office? You have a strange last name." And then she took a week to think about it, and middle of the night, 1 o'clock, yes, you can do it. And she said, don't put cart before the horse. I'm like, okay. So I started building my horse, and I've been fortunate. As I work for the state, of course, I know the businesses locally. And
Sure.
when I went back, I said, look, I'm running for city commission. They said, yes, we like that because you have done your job. Right. And you have possibly shut us down, road violations, but you did your job. And so that's a good thing. And so going back to your earlier question, so that I think I can do something, because I'm a first part of the first responders fire department, and right. We work together as police department, and we care about society. If you don't have proper public safety, you don't have a society. You don't have people have to feel safer. The businesses have to feel safer, and we have. In some other part, unfortunately, something happening in other parts of the country. As I pointed out in my newspaper, questions that, when I was answering, that our local police department and our, I think they perform admirably, and we have managed situation really, and we need to work together. But still, I think we can get our ranking higher. We can make our life better, definitely.
So I think I want to point out something that people I'm not sure if everyone, because I know that what you've done for the community it's kept you busy, and maybe people are not aware of you as much as some other individuals in the Kissimmee area. But I'd like to point out that at the Kissimmee Osceola County Chamber's recent straw poll, you're doing very well in that. So I think when you said you got your horses set up, I think what's happening here is, if I'm correct, people are agreeing with you that you can make a difference in the city of Kissimmee, and they seem to be supporting you. You were winning the straw poll at the first update. Am I correct?
Thank you. Yes, sir. That was a surprise. Got me I was totally surprised because I was not tracking that. So it gave us a good momentum, and we needed that boost because you're working with this under current pandemic situation, and you're using all the tools available to you. And but definitely, I I'm really encouraged. Thank you, thank you.
I would be too. I was impressed actually, and I said, it's nice to see somebody who has a vast experience in working in municipal scenarios, in governmental scenarios, and so you obviously you can hit the ground running if elected. Correct. Let's go ahead. Let's jump to some of the things that leaped out to me when I was looking over some of the things. So in your priorities at your website, you're talking about, it talks about these first two are kind of close. And there is a relationship somewhat. So we're coming out of this, hopefully we're going to soon come out of this COVID-19 pandemic. And then I think we're going to be looking at, certainly the private sector is hoping to be able to get revved up again. But there will be so many challenges for the two incorporated cities and certainly the county to try to figure out, how do we get things back on track? How do we begin to work together to get these things moving forward again? How do you see that starting?
Well, right now, it's hard, but as a fire inspector or in other role that I have, we always bridging that gap, and because people are working from home and some businesses are struggling, and I know how difficult to start a business. My wife and we tried to start a business. So what I do, as an inside guy, let me use that word. I know by inside, I mean that knowing the codes and standards and the requirements, whether building or fire, that gives me to directly help people. And people, when they're starting a business, because they are the one creating jobs, when they get there after the inspection, BTR, business tax receipt, their eyes light up. And would like to see that. We're hoping that we'll have vaccinations soon and the pandemic would come under control, and then we'll be getting the businesses in a normal fashion so they can hire the employees back. And of course, our neighbors like Disney and Universal, they're going to bring their people back from furlough, and I'll be there to help opening up their businesses and any other obstacles they might have. And when you know the rules and regulation, definitely I'm not going to count on my staff. So the recommendation, it would be like in engineering term, push and pull. They will be possibly pushing it, I'll be pulling it, outside looking in. And that's my goal would be how to get the folks can have gainful employment.
Well said. So we mentioned this a little bit earlier. So we have in the city, Kissimmee's, the makeup of the commission is going to change a tad. So you're elected, you come on day one, lots of things to discuss. How do you feel you'll do as far as working with a few new people possibly, and you'll be one of the new commissioners. So how do you feel that you'll do on day one working with that group of people?
Well, as far the commissioners go, I know all of them, like Commissioner Felix Ortiz. I used to be his inspector. So he's a commissioner, so we have a good working relationship. Commissioner Jim Fisher, I know him personally. He's a good friend. Sure. Mayor, of course, would be leaving his post, but the new commissioner, all the candidates I know, we pretty much talk to each other, and also the administration, I know, the city manager, the other department heads, I know. So I can really, I don't have to go through the introduction. Right. I can hit the road running.
That's awesome.
Yes,
so
sir.
You mentioned public safety. I don't think that's going to be a challenge for you to talk about too much, because I think that's a good segment of what you do in a number of different ways in your experience. So when it comes to public safety, what would you like? It's one of the priorities on your website. Why don't you discuss a little bit about that for us?
Well, the thing is that I think we have been, as I said, in compared to other cities, we have done very well. Things could have been worse.
Sure.
And it's always good to have more community involvement, input. And I was brainstorming with the city manager about this, and he said that they tried to have a coffee for the commissioner and the citizens come in, but that didn't work out. So I thought, rather than inviting people or the citizens, I would going to go to the community, have coffee with them, and also bring the public safety component and other first responder, work as partners. Because I don't think there's a conflict between rule of law and justice,
Right.
because there's no conflict, because they go hand in hand. And in a democratic society, unlike in a dictatorial form of government, um, it's it's easy to do that because we value others' opinion. When you don't value others' opinion, then we kill the process, and we kind of say things, do things, which is like a kind of confirmation bias, I call it. So we need to get input from that. We need to hear from folks. It's a process that will continue to the till the end of civilization.
Right.
What Socrates started 2,000 years ago. So, so the main thing is that Socratic method still helps us, and I'll be making sure that folks are honored, and and because it's a two-way street. I hope that helps.
It does help. I think that's, I'm just speaking personally. I think that's the challenge. We believe we have the best system in the world. Certainly some challenges associated with that, as everything has. But it is about an expectation, I think, from the residents, the citizens, that we will have elected officials that will work together, that will talk together, be considerate of each other. And I think that's, I love hearing what you're saying. That is a huge issue for me. I'm a small business owner. We are right around the corner from City Hall in Kissimmee, right in the corner of Stewart and Street. And so, we're deep in the midst of downtown Kissimmee. And you mentioned Mr. Ortiz. We're fans of him. He's a good man. We like him. Jim Fisher for sure. And all the commissioners.
I know all of them. Yeah.
They're all good folks and very
Angela Yidi and Olga Gonzalez. Of course, they will be running for mayor and all.
Sure. A lot of people running for that seat, no doubt about it.
Yes, sir. Yes, true.
It's
very
a big
true.
Deal. So, I guess one of the things I think people would like to hear us talk about tonight is, so we're past. Let's say we get past all the COVID. We're going to get past that. So when that day happens, we have to have faith and hope, and that's going to happen hopefully sooner than later. Then we're back in that position. I'm in the downtown Kissimmee Area Council board, and so I've listened to Craig Holland and certainly Commissioner Cheryl Grieve and numbers of other officials talking about growth, managed growth, and some of the development opportunities that exist in downtown Kissimmee and surrounding areas. What's your take on the future development? How does Kissimmee move forward to be an even better city than it is now?
That's an excellent question because I live in this neighborhood by the Lakeshore and Drury, and we have two developments I know definitely happening. Mosaic,
right
near the park, and then 400 plus units near Lawrence Silas Boulevard over there. Sure. And of course, the county is building about already they are I think 75% built near Osceola Heritage Park. So we'll have definitely. So this is the thing. I'm sure the current commissioner dealing with it. But I have been reading up on, I don't know. I'm a professional student. I like to study. I'm a facts guy. I think about how I process information and how I come to a conclusion is that, or a decision is that quantitative and qualitative approach. Quantitative is the data, does it make sense? And then qualitative, what value it will add. And I've been reading up on National Geographic, and they have been doing a study on different cities that has been in the for several hundred years or thousands of years, and they are adapting. The university didn't have any course on sustainability, but we have to balance it. We have to think about our transportation. And I know Sunrail is helping. A lot of folks are not driving to Orlando. And our roads, we have need repair. And after all these apartments are built, we have to come up with some creative solution that how we can have a proper traffic management, because already it's very difficult. So I've been thinking about that. I've been talking to the development director, Craig Holland, all the time. I'm in touch, and the decisions that have been made, I guess we have to just improve on it, and as it comes before our commission, I'll be looking at that, and most likely we're going to look into how we can go to the next stage, and the sustainability, the water issue, the other waste management, and of course the how folks work. And I think there's a pandemic has given us a good opportunity to work from home. So I'm hoping that will cut some traffic. But I'm always for growth management, because to have a quality of life, you can have continuous growth. And there's a time we have to have a proper discussion and manage it. Because by 2050, my understanding that the world's population would be 10 billion and 67% would be living in cities like ours. So we have to have a sustainable city whereby our amount of water we have and other resources we have, we can manage properly.
Well said. I agree on numbers of what you said just now. So I don't think I've asked you this before tonight during our discussion, but so I may have kind of leaned toward this before we started going live this evening. But you're obviously a very busy man, so you've got a great amount of experience in what you're running for, and so that's there's no question there, I believe. But you get up in the morning. You've been here 20 years. What drives you? When you get up in the morning, I know it drives myself. It drives my wife. We love doing what we're doing. We love Osceola County. We truly do. We've been here 30 years, and that in our family, that's what drives us every day to get up and get going and try to make a positive difference. So what drives you? What is your passion? We kind of led toward it. What's your passion that drives you to want to do this?
Well, throughout my life, I think my dad told me, do something that you like, you'll never work in a day,
right?
Your day, your life. So in the morning, I work for fire prevention now in St. Cloud. And so my job is to get up in the morning and make sure that we eliminate the hazards, because I don't want my firefighters to fight fires if I can prevent it. Right. So that drives me, my job. But when I come home at the end of the day, the neighbors I have, the great neighbors, we always, people complain like some cities, people don't talk to each other. Neighbors don't know each other. But unlike that, this is a great neighborhood. We know each other. I want to extend that to the whole city, that we belong to this great city of Kissimmee and we can do great things. So definitely, I'm optimistic about that.
Well, I think I love what you said, how you, with what you do, you can actually save lives because you're preventing those firefighters, hopefully, to be able to go out. I think of that as kind of a navigator. So, and maybe that's how we should look at our commissioners and our councilmen and council persons, that they're more of a navigators sometimes. True. Where I'm trying to get. There's so many things come at these leaders, that come at the groups, and I know they do the best they can to try to get things done in an effective and an efficient manner. So maybe what I'm hearing you say is that you're equipped to be a navigator of those things that we really don't know are coming yet, right?
True. And we have to be ready for it because, I don't want to, I know somebody told me that whoever is running for public office, they have good intentions.
Right.
So never say a bad word, but I want to differentiate myself, like you pointed out, my experience, and folks can look at my record, and I'm prepared to do a good job. And as I said, this actually opened up my eyes. Fire and life safety educator. It's like think of it and make it better. And I don't know whether you remember, there was a story about a king went to a wise man for advice, and he waited for 7 days later. He said, "You didn't give me anything good to, take it home." And he said, "Well, 3 hours. Right now, the person you're with and do the right thing is to do some good things. So 3 things. Right now, do the right thing to the people you're near to you." So, it taught me a lesson that like I have a purpose and I'm going to try and win your votes. I'm going to work hard. I'm walking the neighborhood in this pandemic situation. Neighbors are surprised. I went to Lakeside or whether in Millslow or Tapestry. You are here. I'm like, yes, I'm vested in it 110%. So I truly believe I can make some positive changes and guide the city manager and the management. I mean, as I said, I don't know everything, but how do I find, in a democracy, we talk to people, find out, get the best solution and do that. As an enforcement officer or an inspector, investigator, that's what we do. We come up with the best solution and present it.
Well said.
So that's my goal.
Well, I'm happy to have spoken to you. So maybe one of the last things, why don't you let people know how they can learn more about you? Obviously, I have the website
Yes, sir.
now, and we'll have that in this post as well. So if you want, just let people know how they can reach out to you, or where they can expect to speak to you, if there's any way they can do that.
Yes, sir. We have information, the Office of the Supervisor of Elections website.
Mm-hmm.
We have information. We have a website,
sure.
votehannankhan.com.
Mm-hmm.
I have a Facebook page, of course. And then next Saturday, Abra Kabra Ice Cream, they're doing some, in these tough times, of course, doing some ice cream social. We did one. Actually, I planned so many events because of this COVID. We had to cancel. I had to cancel almost 100 events. Yes, sir. Yeah. So other than that, I'll be in the polling centers. I'm walking the neighborhood. Right. There's a phone number in the website, so folks can reach me and ask me questions. But I want your support, and I'm going to try to do a good job. I'll do a good job.
There you go. Well, I want to thank you for spending so much time with us tonight. As I said, I know you're very busy. I would like to say that for those people who are registered to vote, certainly early voting is taking place right now, and it is from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Through Sunday, the 16th, and there are 8 locations. I think people sometimes get confused. It's not about your precincts. In the early voting, you can vote at any one of the 8 locations, including the Supervisor of Elections main office over off of Parton Settlement. So lots of opportunity for people to let their voice be heard, to develop exactly what that leadership is going to look like as we come through this challenging time. So we encourage everyone out there certainly to explore Mr. Khan further. Hopefully we ask some questions that will lend to them understanding you and getting to know you a bit. But I encourage everyone to get out and certainly early vote. If you're going to mail in your ballot, you already have it set. Just note that they were asking for you to get that in 7 days prior to the election date. But you can drop those off certainly at the Supervisor of Elections. There is a ballot box, very safe. You can do that. On Monday there will be no early voting, but on Tuesday the actual primary election where you'll be voting, if you choose to at your actual precinct. So said a lot of stuff there. I just want to say thank you, sir.
Thank you. No, thank you, sir. You gave me an opportunity to express my views and connect to the voters. And I truly appreciate that. Thank you. God bless you.
It's an honor. God bless you as well. And it was an opportunity for me to be able to hear from you. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Again, tonight, this is Keith with Positively Osceola here with Hannan Khan, who is running for City of Kissimmee Commissioner Seat 1. Together, we are making a positive difference in and around Osceola County. Have a great evening, everybody.
Good evening. Yes, sir.